Okay, it was a messy day weather-wise, on Saturday, but felt like overall, if you go back and watch the film and stuff, that you played pretty well. Been kind of, I think the last two situations we've been in on the road at EIU down at halftime, have to respond in the second half. I think that grew our football team as well as Saturday. Just having to, have a one possession game at the end of the game and having to get a stop and then hopefully go get a score when you get the ball back. I thought was not a position you really want to be in, but we were put in it and we responded and made the plays we had to do to win the game. So I thought it was good for us. So you go back to the game. Everybody asked all week. I said, in this conference, you can't look at records. Everybody, the parity is really, really good, and there's a fine line between, winning the game and losing the game. And, SEMO and EIU was 19-16, so you knew they had a good football team. I think what you've seen on Saturday is, two really physical teams, go after one another. And, like I said, we were able to make a few more plays than what they made. I know they're probably sitting there today, saying, hey, if we'd have made this play or that play, it had a chance to win. They did have chances to win the game. But, overall, felt like we had a good week of preparation. We was ready to play. Felt like we'd come out. We kind of put ourselves in the hole early. We missed a couple blocks on the first kickoff return. We started on the 15. We go 3 and out, and that just gave them field position right off the bat. That ate up a lot of the first quarter. Just getting in bad field position to start the game off with, and then we're able to get the field flipped back, and Doss comes in and hits Trey and kind of sparks us and gives us a touchdown lead. And they respond. They come right back with a good return and hit a deep ball on us and tie it back up. So like I said, overall, I think the telltale deal is we turned the ball over one time in the red zone, but it was getting touchdowns in the red zone offensively. I thought defensively we maybe didn't create enough turnovers. We need to create more turnovers, but defense had a solid day. Offensively, when you get the ball in the red zone, close the red zone, you got to get touchdowns. And I thought Cade kind of bailed us out because he had a great day kicking the ball and making some field goals, but we'd definitely rather have touchdowns there. But clean game for us, the turnover deal, besides the one bad throw that we got picked off in the red zone in the first half. And like I said, I thought we'd come out second half and said just continue to bang it and find a way to run the ball. And I like the way we finished the game. I thought we finished the game very physically and got some first downs there and got a field goal, got a touchdown late, and kind of put the game away. But like I said, take my hat off SEMO. They played well and played hard, and those guys are never out of the game. You could look the week before against Austin Peay. They were sitting there and they were down, I think, 21 and come back and, had the ball with a chance to tie to go into overtime. So they're just not going to quit. They play very, very hard and very physical. So we're very, pleased to come up with that win at home and fortunately get to play again at home this week. Hopefully we'll have a little bit better weather. It's one of the things Saturday, I think we'd had a sold-out crowd if we'd had, Thursday's weather maybe on Saturday. But we had thank you to our fans that set out in it because it was a dreadful day for us. Weather. It was cold, it was damp, didn't rain during the game, but it was cold, and we had 16,000 that set out in it and braved the weather and watched us, and that's our loyalists, I say. That's the folks. We're gonna have that 15,000 is gonna come. It don't matter if it's a foot of snow out there. They're gonna be there, and like I said, I can understand the weather kind of preventing some other ones from coming, but like I said, we're looking for better weather this week and a good home crowd against a Murray State team. And you go into this week, they're never out of a football game because they throw it about every snap, and they can make things happen offensively through the air. So we got to be ready to play, and they're a pressure style defense, so they're gonna force you to get a hat on hat in your protection and in the run game. So hopefully you'll be able to do that and play well on Saturday.
Coach Cross, the past two games you guys have proven that even if you don't get off to the fastest start, that you can finish strong. Against a team like this that's had some struggles, is it important to get off to a fast start or a strong start?
I think it definitely is. You take every game, and I go back to every game's got a life of its own. And, a lot of times if we get out of the gate, and we get off to a fast start, folks tend to, not play as well. I think everybody plays their A game against us, and when we get out of the gate, it's hard to catch us. But when we get off to a slow start, and a lot of times you say we get off to a slow start, that has to do with the other team some too. They made the plays on that kickoff, to get start us on the 15-yard line. Like I said, we put ourselves in the hole some, but they made some plays. But I do think it's important, to get off to a good start, and we talk about that a lot, starting the game and how we start coming out of halftime, how we start, the game in the third quarter. And I thought we was able to do that the other night. We got off to a good start, coming out of halftime, and I thought that kind of set the tempo, as well. And they stole a possession there in the third quarter. They had a good game plan, Saturday. They shortened the game. They ran the ball a lot on first down, third down situations, kept the clock running, shortened the game, and people were going to do that to us. And, I think that was, played right into the way they wanted the game to come down to. And, like I said, I think that, still in possession in the third quarter, we come out with 3 and out them, and then we roughed the punter. So that gave them another set of downs to run more clock, and that kind of ate up, some of that third quarter as well. So there's some things that happened clock management-wise in the game that really didn't help us, get more possessions.
Let's talk about what Traco's brought to the defense.
I think he's just a headsy guy. I've seen his game. He was a young guy last year. Kind of got thrown into the fire, last year and played, a lot more than we would like a freshman to play. But I mean, he responded to that and had a great year. And I think this year his knowledge of the game and really in what we want to do defensively at that position with him, he has a very, very good understanding. I'd say this: his football IQ is through the roof. I mean, he's a very intelligent football player, and he kind of knows. He studies the opponent, kind of knows where he's supposed to be in the run fit. He knows where he's supposed to be in coverage. He's got corner type coverage skills that he brings to that field safety position, which we like. And like I said, he plays extremely hard. And he's not the biggest guy, but he plays a lot bigger than what he is. So he likes to tackle as well. He's physical.
Traco, we should talk about the keys to playing against a team like Murray State that likes to throw it a lot.
Yeah, it's gonna be a big game this week. I think we're just gonna have to be sound on defense. We're gonna have to make play. We're gonna have to make a lot of plays in the safety room to be able to beat them. They're gonna throw it a lot this week, so we just gotta make plays. I feel like.
You see him smiling back there. He's going to smile big. DBs is kind of like receivers. If they think he's going to throw it a little more, they're a little bit more excited. When the other team's going to throw it more, them DBs kind of get excited to see the ball in the air. So, not to say they don't like to play the run, but they like seeing the ball in the air as well.
Can you kind of put a finger on the number of sacks that was given up Saturday? Was it injury? Was it something that SEMO was doing as far as twists or anything like that?
I don't think we had a sack, as I call get a hat on hat. I don't think we had a sack that we didn't get a hat on hat. It was not any miscommunication. They may have been one, but I don't even know if we got sacked on that, and I think we got rid of that ball. They beat us some. And that goes back to technical, fundamental things. There's some things we can clean up there and do a little bit better up front. I think Dylan would say the same thing. And sometimes that's going to happen. I mean, you're talking about their D line's pretty good. They're athletic. They got one over there. It's a prospect guy. It's an NFL type guy. So they're hard to block, and their linebackers are athletic, and they do a lot of blitz stuff. They make it hard on you. But overall, we may have held on to the ball a little bit. Too much a couple of times. A couple of times we scrambled out of it and didn't get rid of it quick enough, and some things like that where we were taking shots. And when you're going against a defense like them, and they're going to play a lot of man-free stuff, and you're going to take a lot of shots downfield, you're going to give up some sacks. I mean, it's just going to happen because we're trying to hold the ball longer than we hold it in our quick game protection. And like I said, we just got beat some, and but like I said, we I didn't go back to the plays we didn't make because every coach can sit here on Monday and talk about all the plays that you left on the field and what if and all this stuff. We did miss some shots, especially early in that game. We missed some wide open shots that we could have made that could have got us off to the quicker start, and it been a whole lot better for the Gamecocks for sure. But like I said, when you take those shots downfield, you open yourself up to get more pressure on the quarterback.
With all those guys were as bigger than anybody you lined up against this year.
Yeah, that was probably the biggest front we've played all year. And then they ran the bear defense. There was 5 down, and a lot of times you didn't know who was rushing, whatever, and they did beat us. They beat us a couple times.
First time you faced that this year.
Yes, sir.
I think as athletic a D lineman as we played. They're big guys, but they can move too, and they're an older bunch defensively, so those guys played a lot of snaps for them. And like I said, they make it hard on you sometimes. How many they put in the box schematically and the blitzes they run out of that different stuff. So like I said, I think up front, really, I thought we did a pretty good job. Was able to find ways to run the football against them, which was good. And it was a grinded out game. It really was. With the weather the way it was, and missing some shots early. That's kind of the way the game swung, and we was able to do that. I think in the fourth quarter.
Dylan, you've been here a while. What's the routine like for you and your teammates for a home game? Being able, like the day before, as opposed to what it's like, what you have to go through when you're on the road.
Well, you ain't got to sit on a bus for 8 hours, so that's a positive. I get to sleep in a little bit more on Fridays instead of waking up and coming up here and doing a walkthrough and then getting on the road. You just got a lot more time to relax and think about. You get to think about the game and everything. We go to the hotel every Friday, and it's just a hotel you're comfortable at because we go there 6 times a year, 5 times a year, and we come up here with our home fans where we have a good atmosphere. And it's just always fun to play in front of them.
Is it tougher on a day like Saturday? It's miserable for everybody, so it's miserable for you guys too.
It was definitely cold, but as an offensive lineman, we have like a unspoken rule that you can't wear sleeves. So it definitely got cold for a little bit, but after you get going, it's not really. You don't think about the rain or the cold or how hot it is. Really, you don't ever really get to think about it because you're focused on what's going on in front of you. But sometimes it's fun to play in a cold game. A lot of people say that's offensive lineman weather, but I don't particularly agree with that.